Okay, let's test some audio right now. I hope you hear me, guys. Test, test. Do you hear me? Okay, we're gonna start in 5 minutes, so be ready. Okay, let's start. Hi, guys. I hope all of you hear me good. I'm glad and I'm really excited to see all of you here today at Hangouts. I'm going to talk about apps monetization strategies. I'm going to review some automated solutions which you could find at this moment in the market. And I hope my experience that I'm going to share with you today will be really useful for you. And please, again, don't hesitate to ask me any questions that you will have during the webinar. And even if we won't have enough time to cover all of them today, I promise to send the answer later personally. And the presentation will be also sent to every attendee. So if you want, catch up any links I will share with you, just don't worry, you will receive the presentation. So a couple of words about me. My name is Marina Kaustova, and I'm a business development director at That2App. And I've been devoting myself to online marketing for 8 years. And for the last 3 years, I'm focusing mostly at mobile advertising. That happened quite eventually. My best friend gave up with his hopes about working for a huge company, and he started a small indie app development firm. So he asked me to take care of his games and find an audience for them among people all over the world. So I think I did well because 2 years later, I've been traveling through Latin America. And okay, I've seen the statistics that said we're doing really good at that region. But nothing would compare to that feeling when you meet some people and they recommend you your own games. So yes, despite the fact that our games are staying at top overall in some countries, the most part of our revenues still come from advertising monetization. And taking part in this project allowed me to see and deeply understand how the app's development business is done and to reveal the problems that developers experience while struggling to earn money. And as I've seen it from the inside, it takes a lot of pain for you, the indie developers, the publishers, to find the right strategy for monetizing their apps, and even more patience to test it properly. So at some moment, you may find yourself worrying about the sales and monetization aspect of your app more than the app itself. So it's understood, but not recommended. And even if the best monetization strategy won't save your business if your games, suck. So if you're running that business, spend more time on searching the solution which doesn't only promises you money. You need a solution that could save your priceless time. And so I hope you see the second slide. I just want to be sure that everything goes well. Just tell me if you see that. The slide with the survey from Vision Mobile. Do you see that? Okay, yeah, I hope you see that slide. When I've seen the results of that research being done by Vision Mobile at 2014, I wasn't surprised at all, because statistically over 60% of Android developers earn less than $500 a month, and quarter of them earn less than $100. Yeah, okay, that's about the Android mostly, but my experience tells me things are pretty the same on the iOS field. So, any sane person far from mobile world would hesitate. Is it really worth to go there at all? But as long as Flappy Bird and Crossy Road explosions still feed everyone's hopes, I think the answer is yes. 20 years ago, children were dreaming to become a rock star, and now they dream about their app being featured by App Store. All that means your strategy should be really stable and valuable, unless you're gonna hit that marvelous cohort of losers depicted on that slide. Okay, no slides. One moment, I'll try to just... to adjust that. Okay, do you see that right now? we're gonna experience some troubles with Hangouts because they have huge, delays with the providing you these screenshots. Yeah, there are delays in like a minute. So at this moment, I think you're gonna have to see the slide about the Android developers and the statistics of their revenues. Okay, now I hope that works. Now I hope that works good. Okay, I hope the delays will just work better by the time. So let's just continue. I was talking about the revenues that is gained by Android developers, and I told about most of them just don't understand what to do with their strategy at all. So you truly have one shot. So pay attention beforehand. What are you doing? What are you going to do with your monetization strategy? So here are the main three topics that I'm going to cover today. That I was going to cover today with my slides, and I hope they will work better. So the strategy you're going to pick up, the formats you're going to use, and the solutions that were invented to help you to stay on that way. So basically, you have three main ways to earn money from your app. You may place an ad there, you may add the in-app purchases, or you may simply define the fixed price for your app. And frankly speaking, I would not recommend you to make your app paid these days unless you're targeting a pretty limited audience. It seems to me that the only type of apps that still survive the strategy of publishing twins, one for free and limited, and the second is paid and fat. So the only type of apps that still survive that are the educational apps, especially the language study ones. Recently I had a talk with Busuu, and we were preparing a new podcast episode, and they said even there things are getting tougher and tougher by the time. So just avoid that, especially if you have a vigorous ambitions to hit the top. So placing the ads into your app, that's a pretty good choice, especially at this moment when you have this huge variety of ads networks, and it's for sure may seem the easiest ways to go. So again, you may recall the Flappy Bird success. The app was free, it had no in-apps at all, and the monetization brought like 50 grand per day. So the trick is to strike a balance between chasing revenues and making minimal disruption to your audience user experience. So there are a lot of things that could be done wrong here, and I'll talk about it later. And in-app purchases is a monetization strategy in favor these days, and that's obvious. It may seem you don't force users to pay, but in fact, you need to do that. The improvement user buys should give him a significant advantage, visual or functional, unless they won't pay at all. And the numbers are still a bit sad. You can count yourself lucky if 2% of the audience actually makes regular payments. But games with as many players as Candy Crush still make a fortune from that 2%. So, after all, I should say that there are plenty of cases when you simply have no option for implementing any apps at all, and for sure you should consider that as well. Okay, still no visuals. I'm struggling with that, and I hope that would work. Okay, so I personally would advise you to focus on mixing ads and in-apps and really doing it wisely. You may have a look at this recording of guys who made Crossy Road. I'll just send a link to the public chat for those who still have no option to see the slides. These guys, they made Crossy Road and they talk on GDC about their experience on developing that game. Of course, that wasn't an expected success. And the game was launched just before the holidays in November and they hit like 6 million by the following February. And their strategy seems pretty simple. And it's really doable in case you've got a pretty sexy, daily average user rates. So the strategy is mixing ads and in-apps and focusing on keeping the revenues equal. So I give a link here. So yeah, I really recommend you to listen to that part where they talk about their monetization strategy, and this may inspire you in some way. In-apps are really a huge theme to discuss, and I think I will make a webinar devoted to them soon. So for this half-an-hour session, we won't focus on them much because there's no limits on making them better, more valuable and more desirable. So it's an endless process of improving them based on your statistics and your tests and so on. So let's switch to the ads monetizing. Because the rules here, they're pretty clear and simply depend on the format you choose. Okay. So let's talk about the formats. Here's the list of the most common ones. You may be useful to, well, you may be used to a lot of them. So the banners are the small advertisers, usually placed at the top of the or at the bottom of the screen. They're cost-effective. They're easy to create. Advertisers love banners because through them they can target demographics based on past behaviors. But the bad thing about banners is they are, not to say ugly, but visually compelling on mobile. And that really doesn't look good most times. So the engagement rates are really low. I mean, really, really low, because the average is about 0.1 CTR. And at this moment, it's proved that banners generate the lowest revenue compared to other ad formats. So you just need to know that while planning your campaign. The screenshot. I think I think it's not possible right now to send a screenshot because it would take a really long time for me. I'll try to put the presentation, on the Google Drive and to share with you the link to that. So you may just follow me looking at that presentation there. Just one moment, and I'll do that, and I'll go back to the presentation itself. Okay, here's the presentation. So in case you don't see the slides, you can follow me. You can just download it and follow me on that presentation. Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you. Sorry again. So we're talking about the formats, and I was just telling you more about the banners and interstitials. And we are switching to interstitials format. These are full screen ads, and they block the app's other content. They're just overlaying it. And sometimes they may freeze on the screen for some time until the X button arrives. Interstitials may be either static or they may contain video. And unlike the banner ads, interstitials force users to interact. So they grab users' attention and maintain high conversion rates and good revenues. But at the same moment, the interstitials hinder users from completing a desired action. So many users find that quite irritating. So let's go to the next slide about telling us about the other formats. The offer walls. The offer walls look like a page that appears when you're within your app. And this page lets you to decide what action you want to perform to gain reward. At one point, that could look like a win-win situation. When everyone gets what he wants, you get the reward, and the publisher get his, installs and or some actions. But eventually, Apple began fighting these formats, so it transformed to a rewarded format. And I will talk more about the rewarded format later. So native advertising is a digital content that blends seamlessly into the app or into your website, just like the rest Facebook does. So this format is really the must if you're developing a non-gaming app. But it takes time, it takes a lot of time to find a way to make your app, to make your advertising really look like your content. But it's worth it. So the next slide, the rewarded videos. They may be seen at the games, especially at milestone points of the games. The user just finished a really tough level and he's joyful, and that seems a really good moment to use that positive emotions to show him some advertising. And all recent studies show that more than 80% of users prefer moment-based roads. So I would recommend you to pay attention to this format first of all. And if you're looking for a good case to copy, the Crossroad could give some inspiration on that. And you also have some odd formats like surveys, like lock screens, but most of them are slightly going nowhere. So I would recommend you to focus on the rewarded apps, then interstitial, and then polish your strategy with some banners afterwards. So let's go to the next slide, to the survey about the percent of responders and about the highest revenue. This survey says that static banner ads and static full screen ads are still the highest earning formats for majority of publishers. But, along with this survey, the biggest publishers also report video ads generating highest revenues. So keep it in mind, the market changes right now, and you should follow it, and you should know where it goes, and it slightly goes to rewards. Yeah, I mean the interstitial ads as well. Any app that doesn't include, rich media or video, just like a banner, small or big, or interstitial banner. And there's one more survey that I'd like to share with you on the next page, on the next slide, where you see the map. It's about the difference between countries. Some audiences just seem to be not as responsive as others. And this map shows you two very, very important things: where to start your user acquisition campaign and where you can expect the most responsive audience for your ads monetization strategy. And also this map leads us to understanding that it is really worth to plan different waterfalls, to plan different sources of your advertising for each country, because really mentality really matters. So let's go to the list of, to the next slide, to the list of common mistakes publishers often do when they are implementing ads. I will shortly highlight the most, the most of them. First of all, forget about the small formats. They still exist, but they bring no revenues at all. So you won't spend your time. Just forget about it. Missteps, still a lot of publishers just count on them and they just, hiding the X button or making it too small. So never think that it would help you to earn money, because advertisers tend to pay serious attention to the retention rate. So you really could find yourself blacklisted by some ad networks. That's not what you want to appear. You need to choose the right moment for your ads to be revealed. Just as I said about the rewarded videos, best time for them is when the user wins or successfully finishes the level. Anyway, make a test, make an experiment. Some guys, they just do like play tests. They videotape their users and then they analyze their behavior. That's the good thing. You need to videotape like 10 people that could be your friends or friends developers. So yeah, that's really important thing. Your videos, when you implement the video ads, your videos should be really long. And just know that the first seconds are the most important, because the worst thing that could happen to your audience is the boredom. So catch their eye immediately, make them smile, make them cry, just do with them something. High ads density kills retention, so be really, really careful. Even if the ads don't repeat and you show new videos each time, new interstitials each time, that could make your audience feel really, really tired. So yeah, be careful with that as well. And now let's move to advertising networks. Next slide. There are a lot of them. AdMob is considered to be a leader. For example, its SDK is installed to 80% of the apps that use monetizing strategy. And they're mostly known for serving banner formats, just like iAd does. For this slide, I simply took the most known ad networks and specified the formats they are serving. For sure, there are much more networks that I have mentioned here, but these are the ones you probably heard about it previously. So despite the fact the AdMob is the most popular advertising network for mobile, it seems they still can't give you the highest possible revenue. And let's go to the next slide. To the next slide. The AppsFlyer had made a research based on 50 million of downloads, and they just wanted to see what networks give the best results. And you should just know that and focus on that, that they were focusing on the amount of downloads compared to the retention index received afterwards. Here are the results for iOS and the link to the whole research. I'll put this link to the chat as well. Really very interesting research. You should look at that, and it it includes the Android results as well. This survey has nothing to do with the revenues received by the publishers, but the idea is simple. Choosing only one network becoming a wrong decision, and this wrong decision really could ruin your whole monetization strategy. Networks are ready to bargain for publishers. They're offering really nice CPMs, so why don't use that option? Why just settle with the only one? And here comes the idea of a smart mediation. It's a really new age in mobile advertising that arrived recently and proved its absolute utility. The original idea is to aggregate all these demand-side buyers, and therefore receive an opportunity to choose between them, to choose the best offer. So let's go to the next slide. The choice between the ad networks based on the CPMs they give you, that choice should be done automatically by an algorithm that will select the best offer to be placed here. It may sound really easy, but in fact, there are still not many solutions that could provide you with a really smart service of that kind. I mean, there are services like Mapap, which allow you to build your own waterfall of demand-side buyers. But in my opinion, that's simply not enough, especially when you want to receive a long tail of installs all over the world. I have shown you that conditions vary from country to country a lot in the previous slides. So you really need a smart mediation algorithm, and at this moment there are not many solutions on the market that can provide you with that. So that's what we were focusing for the last year at Add2App. And we finally presented the SDK of choice for Android and iOS developers that could guarantee you 100% fill rate and the highest possible eCPMs. So let's go to the next slide. It's I'll talk you. It's the 16th slide. I'll tell you more about how the Add2App. Yeah, bye manual networks management. Yeah, that goes to the history, you know, and the automatic solutions. Yeah, they derived a lot of them. So the 16th slide just shows you that we have aggregated more than 20 demand-side buyers. And you may be sure we are capable of buying all the traffic your app could provide. So the 100% fill rate becomes a reality, and that's the good point for you. That's the good point for you to start. And that's how the real-time mediation algorithm works. Let's go to the next slide, the black slide, the 17th. The idea is that every 3 hours, we filter the list of networks by their eCPMs for each country. And when the ad should be viewed at your app, our algorithm immediately sends the request to the highest bidder. And if this bidder is not available at the moment, the request goes to the next. So, and so on, and so on, and so on. We repeat it until the ads been placed. This strategy guarantees you the highest possible eCPMs ever. And as I have seen, the best results could be experienced by apps with a small or average DAU. Yeah, we do have a Unity SDK. So you may just see the list of plugins we have already integrated at our website. And we currently work on more and more plugins. So you may see the updates, you know, like every week. We are hardly working on that right now. So on the next slide, you may see the average eCPMs for different countries. So you really may predict your revenues beforehand. And I should say that DAU has a really strong influence on that numbers. So these numbers will be correct for an average and not really big gaming application. And on the next slide, you may see the screenshot from the statistics for the Imagination app. This quiz app easily received really nice eCPM, close to $5. And Add2App was able to give a 100% fill rate. So that's pretty nice results. You know, a lot of people all over the world just dream about that result. So that was really easy to reach with Add2App. And I should share with you some really important hints on Add2App. We can go to the slide 20. First of all, if you already work with any other network and don't want to switch it off, that's okay. You can just add our SDK to your app and we will repack your bundle according to your requests. You can test our SDK on any app you like just to be sure everything works smooth. And the SDK weighs about 5 megabytes. It consists just of 8 lines of code, so it's really easy to implement. We have a 24-hour online support in case you want us to help you with, you know, any technical issue. So that would be really easy. The payouts are made once a month, so you tell us which way is easier for you to receive money. And Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, all that will work. All that will work well. And at this moment, we have a nice promotion deal because everyone who will sign up to Add2App will see only 5% cut on their revenues instead of usual 10 that we take. So I will send to every attendee of this chat this special, offer, and I personally gonna help any of you, every one of you, to install, to implement the SDK, and to receive any technical issues that you may experience. And if you don't have your own application yet, we also can give an opportunity for earning money. You may see that on slide 22. Our referral program have just started, and for every referred user, we're ready to give you a quarter of our revenues. That's a huge amount of money, and sounds really nice. So go ahead. All you need is to receive the referral link and to spread the word among your friends developers about Add2App. So the referral link will count every friend developer that had been registering at Add2App and adding his app. So that will be done automatically. So that's all for today. And I'm ready to answer your questions if you have ones. Okay, I'll just put my email on the chat so you can contact me directly. If you will have something to ask how something works, or if you will need some consultation on mobile monetization strategy, I hope we will do the different another webinar devoted to in-app monetization, and we will tell more about the cases you could follow. Apps for kids. Apps for kids is quite a tricky thing because the content there should be really great, good, moderated, really good. So most apps for kids, they use like cross promotion thing. We are ready to develop that part of our module soon, but not at this moment. And yeah, it will work. It will work good because we will know whether this application is, devoted to the kids part. So yeah, it will work good. It will. Okay, here's my mail, just in case you will have any questions to ask. And I will send all of you the presentation once again via your email, and just be sure that the deal of 5% cut will work for any one of you whenever you will sign up to Add2App. Because the website says the deal is active only till 1st June, but for you it will work for a longer time. May I manage the sources of banners manually, switching them on and off? We will add this functionality soon, but at this moment we can switch them by your request. You just send us the request, what do you want to switch off and on, and we will do that for you, repack your bundle. So that is possible now, and it would be much more easier in the future. What's the point for Add2App to create this SDK? Just as I said before, we take usually we take a 10% cut from the revenues that our users get, because we connect the publishers with the ad networks, and we provide you with a great algorithm that helps you to receive really good revenues. So that kind of cut seems really pretty nice, and it's not really much, but that's okay for 10%. That's okay. So we'll give you a last cut, as I said before, like 5%. Do I need to remove the SDK of the demand buyer who's already integrated to my app and also presented to Add2App? No, you don't need. You may leave it as it is. I just told about it on some previous slides. If you're used to it, just leave it as it is and send us a request, and we will switch off that demand buyer from your bundle, and it won't have any, it will work smoothly. Okay. How many? 10%, as I said, 10% is for the most of users, and for the listeners of that podcast, it is 5%. Let's ask questions on the in English. Talking about the shave, no, because everything is really transparent and you may see everything in your statistics. So it's not possible when we are as transparent as that. So that's not to be done. Okay. So thank you so much for your attention. I would appreciate your feedback on the webinar. So please don't hesitate to mail me on any questions you have. The referral program, yeah, it is described on the last slide on this presentation. We are ready to share with you the quarter of our revenues, so spread the word. And I wish you to hit top overall with your apps one day. See you. Bye. Okay, there are some more questions, so I'll answer them and then go further. Can you guys test SDK for only part of the users? Yeah, sure. You just select the app where you want to test that, and that's fine. That seems pretty nice. And rewards and native ads will be available June. Yeah. At June we are ready to publish that. So stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned. As I said, we are publishing new updates like every week these days. So stay tuned. Yeah, thank you so much. See you. Bye.